As we had earlier mentioned, the province of Alberta closing the door to temporary foreign workers. Premier Jason Kenney says businesses no longer being allowed to bring in workers from other countries.
Effectively means is we're asking Ottawa not to process applications for temporary foreign workers. It will be in a range of dozens of occupational categories, the vast majority of occupational categories. And the reason for this is because, as I've said, we're facing a real unemployment rate of between 20 and 25% across all ages and skill levels. And it is extremely difficult for me to justify employers looking outside Alberta to bring people in to a labor market in the midst of an unprecedented crisis. So what we are doing is telling employers in the vast majority of occupations that they will not, for the time being, be able to access the temporary foreign worker program.
Now, Kenny says there'll be a few exceptions where workers with specific skills that people here don't have are required, but that's pretty much the only exception. Basically, Premier Jason Kenney had said the unemployment rate here is so high that there's just no opportunity for businesses to bring in foreign workers. And one segment of the economy that will be badly hurt, Kenney says, is the hospitality industry.
The single largest sector which has used the TFW program in the past has been the hospitality sector. For example, restaurants. And we just simply, with tens of thousands of young people and restaurant workers out of work, we just cannot justify having the government or the employers use the TFW program. So it's effectively largely a suspension of the TFW program that we will be implementing through our authority under the Canada-Alberta Cooperation Agreement.
Now, the province is also reducing the number of people who can immigrate here and apply for permanent residency. Kenney says in the past, the province granted permanent residency to more than 6,000 people. Kenney says that will change.
Which is what we're saying is that because of the effective collapse of international travel, there's really no way that we can hit that target. And secondly, we also think it's prudent to reduce the number of certificates that we will issue under the immigrant nominee program. We'll be going from 6,250 to no more than 4,000 this year. For a number of obvious reasons. One, people can't come here in any event. Secondly, they would be coming, in most cases, to face unemployment. Thirdly, the data and research is very clear that newcomers who arrive in the midst of a serious recession do much less well throughout their entire lives in Canada than those who arrive during periods of economic growth. So I don't think we would be doing anybody a favor to bring them into an incredibly tough labor market. What we're saying is that because of the effective collapse of international travel, there's really no way that we can hit that target. And secondly, we also think it's prudent to reduce the number of certificates that we will issue under the immigrant nominee program. We'll be going from 6,250 to no more than 4,000 this year for a number of obvious reasons. One, people can't come here in any event. Secondly, they would be coming, in most cases, to face unemployment. Thirdly,
this story is also not good news. Rogers, which is a communications company based in Canada, is shuttering its overseas customer service operations. It began this earlier this year with the pandemic, people working from home. All of those jobs, some 7,000 of them will be now in Canada. The last of the jobs are 150 positions in Manila. And sorry to say that Rogers is eliminating them. Rogers is a supplier of, amongst other things, cell phones, and they're also involved in television broadcasting, professional sports, and a number of other industries.